Well, hello Internet, and welcome to part 10 of my After Effects tutorial series. Today I'm going to show you how to rotate 6 videos on a 3-dimensional cube, and I have a lot to do, so let's get into it. Alright, so one of you guys asked me to go and show how to put a video on all sides of a 3D object and then rotate it around. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what you just saw. I'm going to show you how to make exactly what you saw. What we're going to do is you're going to take the cube we made in the last part of this tutorial. So if you want to do that, watch that video. The only changes I made is for the X rotation, it was at 25. I set it back to 0. And for the position, I set it to 250, 250, and 0. And of course, this is a 3D object. And then I went into View and Show Rollers, checked that, and then I pulled rollers off to the side to line up my composition so that I can use masks on the videos to block them off inside of our 3-dimensional cube. All right, so that's what I did in the meantime. So now what I'm going to do is I have a video right here, and I am going to bring it down and drop it right here after the front part of our cube. And I'm going to call this front vid, like that. I then need to size it so that it is going to be lined up. Well, I'm also going to make it 3D, so check right inside of there. There you can see the video, but it's way too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink it down. How I do that is I'm going to go right click, go to transform, and fit comp to height. Boom. All right, so now we got that, and now all I need to do is position it. So let's go get this, bring this out here, go to transform, and then I'm going to position it. And you just look at what different X, Y, and Z positions you have. I'm going to set the Z position, so I go this way, that's not right. And you know that this is a 500 by 500 cube, so this is going to be negative 250. Do that. And there you can see is the video just starting to show up. And what I can do on top of this is go into front right here and click on this guy. And actually what I'm going to do is cancel out of that and go to the fill part up here. I clicked on this, set it to none. There, now my video shows up and okay. Now the only problem is I have this overhang here that I need to get rid of. Easy enough. So I'm not going to use front, I'm going to use front vid. So I'm going to select that part. And this is where the rollers come in, because I'm going to create a mask. Make sure you have front vid selected, because you're going to create a mask on it. Come up here, select your rectangle tool, and come in here, hold down the shift key, and we're going to create a mask right here, and it will lock to the rollers, making it 500 by 500. There you go. You got a perfect mask all designed. And now if you rotate it, it's not going to work because I need to lock it into place. So let's close the null object. And what you need to do is instead of the original front side of our cube pointing to null, I'm instead going to point it to front vid. And then I'm going to take front vid and post it to null. And now if you rotate it, it is going to rotate your video. So really cool stuff. And now what you have to do is just do this to every side of the cube. So there we are. Come out here. Here is the back part. So I'm going to go get another video, bring it down here and drop it. It doesn't have to be after the back, but I'm just putting it there. And I'm going to call this back vid. So back vid like this. And because I have the null position set up the way that I did, remember I showed you right here, position 250, 250, 0, and this is a 500 by 500 cube. I can then come in here and select this part over here. And if I want to show the back of it, I just come right here. Instead of front, I go back and I see that green part. And now I just need to position this. So again, we're going to make this 3D. There you can see it is. I'm going to say that I want it to transform, fit comp to height like that again. I then need to position it. So which way are we going to go? I'm going to get back vid and just look up here and it should go that way. So Z, and let's say transform and position. And now I want it to go this way. So that's going to be 250, 250, like that. And then I need to go and bind back to back vid and back vid to null object, just like before. And then go and get the back part here. And we want geometry, oh no, we want contents, this guy, rectangle, fill, and I want to select this guy right here and come up to fill and set it to none. And there I am, but you can see that math is backwards. So what that means is I need to rotate it. I don't need back anymore, but I do need the back vid. So I want this to be rotated. Do I rotate it on the y-axis? Maybe. Let's see. And let's go like this. And now it looks good. So that means it is going to be 180, like that. And now it looks good. All right. Only problem is, once again, you can see that it is hanging over on the right and left. So select this, go and get your mask, go and hold down your shift key so you can lock to these rulers. And there we go. So we have everything locked in place. And now we have another mask assigned, and everything is looking good. All right, so get rid of that, and then work on the bottom. Let's grab the bottom, another vid, throw it in there. Let's rename this bottom vid, like this. And this is going to be 3D also. We are going to right-click on it, and we're going to say that we want it to transform. Fit comp to height. There it is. It's in the right position now. I am going to go and get the bottom, lock it to vid, and the bottom vid, lock it to null. I'm going to come here and I'm going to say that I want, well, make sure I select this one over here. And I'm working on the bottom. So let's say that I want bottom. There it is. It's green. And then I just need to position it. Now it's on the bottom of the cube. So I'm going to rotate this on the y-axis. So transform and y, and I think it's going to be 90. Oops, I accidentally had both of them selected. Just select the bottom vid here. Oops, and you know what? I'm going to also have bottom be set for null for now. I'm going to position it and then I'm going to switch it back. And let's set this bottom vid to none. Let's do that last whenever we assign all that stuff. Okay, so I need to rotate this. And which way am I going to do it? Yes, this looks like the right way. So there is, that's going to end up being 90. And that's on the X rotation. And then I need to position it. And how am I going to position it? Yes, I'm going to position it with the Y. So this is going to end up being 500 because it's a 500 by 500 cube. There it is. And then I need to go and get rid of the bottom. So let's select bottom here. Come up here to our fill section, set it to none, and click on OK. Math is in the right direction. Everything else looks good. The only problem is I need to cut it with the mask. So once again, make sure you have bottom vid selected. Come up to this guy, hold down your shift key, and drag it into place exactly like this. There it is. Good stuff. And now that I have everything perfect, I can come in and assign the bottom to the bottom vid and the bottom vid to the null object. And it is looking pretty good. Whoops, it's rotating weird because I'm showing the bottom of the screen. So if I instead make this the active camera and rotate it, you're going to see that everything is looking good here. All right. All right, so I got it all working, and I'm just going to show you the settings. So for top vid, you're going to use these positions, 0, -250, and 0. And I rotated on the X, -90. All right, so you can pause your video or whatever you'd like to do. And then on the left vid, the position is -250, 0, 0. And then I rotated on the Y with +90. And then on the right, position 250, 0, and 0, and the Y rotation is -90. All right, so everything is lined up perfectly and masked off perfectly. And I did it in exactly the same way as I showed you the other couple times. Now what I'd like to do is go to Null and let's rotate it. Well, also what I want to do is I want to go and get this guy. This is Cube 2 is the name of it. And I want to go to Composition Settings and I want to take this up to 1000 by 1000 so that I'm certain my cube is going to fit in my composition I'm going to use for my animations. And I am going to also, with Null, I can zoom this out a little bit. Whoops, that's in. Okay, zoom out. And let's just put it on an angle here. I'm going to take the Z rotation and I'm going to take it up to, let's try like 20, just so that we can see that it's a cube, so that whenever we play it, it's going to look like a cube. All right, so pretty crazy stuff. And you can see the animations are playing inside of there. But on the bottom, for some reason, this is not showing. Let me see if I can figure out why. I figured it out. The reason why is while I did have bottom assigned to bottom vid, I did not assign bottom vid to null. And now it should go into place. Okay, so I had to go and reposition the bottom part. It's 0, 250, and 0, and the rotation is positive 90 on the X rotation. All right, so now I got that in order, and we can go and rotate it. That's the bottom that's showing right now. We can go and say active camera, and we can go and increase, again, the composition settings to 1000 by 1000, right like this. Click on OK, and now we can see our cube, and now we can go into the null like this, and go and change the rotation on the x-axis, and let's take it to 20 like we did before. 20, there it is. It looks like a cube, and it looks like it is working. Maybe take it down a little bit more. Let's try 25. Actually, let's take it to 30 so that we can see all the different sides. All right, so we know it's working there, and it's rendering and spinning around and looking exactly the way that we wanted it to look. And it's just slow right there just because it's currently rendering and my computer isn't that fast. Now let's go and add even more rotation to it so that it shows up really cool whenever we display it inside of our other composition. And actually see it's getting cut off at the sides. Let's increase the cube size again, composition settings. Let's take it up to 1500, it doesn't matter. We just want it to be big enough that the cube doesn't get cut off. So 1500, and let's make this 10 seconds long because that's how long it's supposed to be. And click on OK. And there we are. Now we filled out the entire thing and the cube is not getting cut off at all. So good stuff. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to play around with the rotation of the cube inside of this composition and then use it in the other composition. So I'm going to say, just make it nice and simple. I have this rotating pretty well on this axis. And I'd say that I'd also like to have it rotating on the x-axis. So let's just come to the beginning here. X-axis, and I'm going to click that I want to create a keyframe, and then I'm going to go to the end right here. Let's grab this other keyframe, just position it on top of the dot right before the video ends. And then let's go, and this is going to spin 8 times. Let's go and take the X and have it spin 4 times. Looks good enough for me. Bring it back to the beginning and let's see what it looks like. And it looks like it's spinning really cool, like that look. And then at the end, it is going to be like this. That looks pretty good. All right, so good stuff. We have a rotating cube. Now what I'm going to do is for all of the other cubes on the screen, I'm going to make it look like a video is playing inside of them, but actually it's going to be flat images that are going to be projected on them. And it'll look like a video, but it isn't because all the focus is going to be on this video that really is a video. So what I'm going to do is go and get my cube again, the original cube, the green cube, and I'm going to duplicate it. So either Command or Control D, depending upon your operating system. And I can rename this one Video Cube, like that. And we can rename this one Picture Cube, like that. All right, so now we have our video cube and our picture cube. Here is our picture cube opened up, and we're going to go to null first off, and we're going to get its rotation where it's 25, set this to 0. And we are going to also come into this part, the position, and set that to 0. Now it should fill up the screen. Then we're going to go to the beginning of the timeline, very important. And then we're going to increase this so that it completely fills the screen. And we're going to do that by manipulating this guy right here until it is 250. And let's look at our picture cube settings, composition settings, 500 by 500, exactly like we want. Click on OK. We can go and turn off the point light because we're not going to need that at all. And let's go and look at all of these different sides here. So we're going to have our front, that's fine. We're going to have our left, that's not fine. So we want to position that so that looks good. Set this to 0. Okay, what's the front look like now? Looks good. And the top, good. And the back, we just want to make sure all of these are in the correct position. And they all are, so that's good. So we'll start with the front. And we're basically going to do the same type of thing, except our pictures are all 500 by 500, so we're not going to need to distort them at all. So it's going to be a lot easier. So I'm going to go and get this ping labeled Me1, drag it down here, drop it in front of here, and rename this front pick, like that. Make it 3D. There it is. Going to open that up, go to transform, position for, I believe it's going to be Z is what we're going to be working with. Yep, it's Z. And this will be -250 then, -250. All right, looks like it's in the right position. Select front, and front is going to end up being, make sure you have the selection tool set. You're going to go into fill and change it to nothing. Click on OK. Math's in the right place, that's good. And it's a picture even though it looks like a video. All right, so good stuff. And again, we're going to do the same stuff we did before. We're going to bind front to front pick, and then front pick is going to be bound to null. We don't need to do any of the other transformations because it's already 500 by 500. Now I'm going to drag down Me2 ping, drop it right inside of there, and make it 3D. There it is. And then I just need to position this. So go into transform again. Position, is this going to be on the Z-axis? Yes. So this is going to be 0 for the Z. And, it should have went in there. Oh no, it needs to be 250. All right. So let's set it to 250 for the Z. A lot of this is playing around. All right. And this is for the back part. And I'm displaying the back right there. Looks like it's good. Let's go to the back image that we were bound to. Set its fill to nothing. There it is. You can see math is backwards, so that means I need to come in here and rotate this. And not that way. It is probably going to be Y. Yep. So Y. And let's have it be 180. Like that. And there it is. And the picture is in the right position. So again, that's all we need to do. And then we need to go and bind back to this me thing right here that I can rename back pick. And then I need to bind the back pick to null. And there we go. Now we have those all in the right position. All right, so I went ahead and did everything here so you didn't have to watch me do it all. And you can see here the rotation I made on the bottom pick and the position 0, 250, and 0. And then I went and did the top pick. And you can see that it's 0, -250, and 0, and -90 for the X rotation. And if you made it this far, why don't you drop me a comment? Because sometimes I feel like I talk to myself in these videos. All right, so, and left pick, and the position, -250, 0, 0, and +90 for the Y rotation. That's left pick. And then the final right pick, I have 250, 0, and 0, and the Y rotation -90. Okay, we're all done with that. And the only thing I want to do here is I want to go and get Picture Cube. So let's select it, Composition Settings, and let's take it up to 1500 like we did before, and 1500. And let's set this to be 10 seconds because that is all the longer the video is. Click on OK. And there we go. And now we can go and get our null. And let's go and rotate it. And let's start it off X rotation. And let's start it again at 30. Like we did with our other one. So 30. Like that. And there it is, and this is how it's going to start off. And you can see that it is rotating and everything is looking pretty good inside of there. And then we just need to decide how we want to have it rotate over the course of it being on the screen. So what do we want to do? I have it at the 0, mark, of course, and I am going to set the X rotation. I just clicked on the little stopwatch, and then I'm going to go to the very end of our clip as far as it'll allow me to go. I'm going to go and grab this keyframe right here, put it right there, and that is going to rotate 8 times. I'm going to rotate this 4 also. So there it is. All the cubes will rotate in the same type of way. And let's go back to the beginning. And you can see that it is rendering a lot quicker than the video rendered. But it looks just like a video because of how it is moving on the screen. And like I said, the eyes will be attracted to the actual video part. So now what we need to do is go and actually create our main composition where we're going to put all our cubes on there. So let's come over here, new composition, and let's call this main comp, and it is going to be HDTV. This one right here, 29.97, and it is going to have a 30 frame rate like that, and click on OK. And we are in the home stretch. And for this part, I only need one view. So I'm going to say one view, and there it is. Here is our main view. I'm going to go and get our main attraction, which is going to be the video cube, drop it down inside of here. There it is right there, and I am going to animate it. I'm going to have it go a little bit further away and zoom in on the screen. You can see if we play it, that it is going to be playing our video as we are doing this. And so that there is actual sound inside of this, I'm going to go into my video cube, and I'm just going to turn on one of the videos, like this. Don't turn them all on, just one of them. All right, so back to my main comp. There it is. And you can hear the sound coming out of it. So let's shut that off because we know that it's working. And I think it's spinning way too much. It's impossible to see what I'm doing. It's just going insane. So let's go back into the video cube and let's slow this down a lot. So we'll go into null, this guy right here, and we will slow it down. But let's leave the other ones going crazy. Why not? All right, so I'm going to take this to 4 and change this to 2. See if it's a little bit more manageable now and less crazy. And it seems to be going at a more reasonable rate. Okay, so good. So let's go back into our main comp. Here we are. Ultimately, I ended up having the rotations across the 10 seconds set to 1 and 2. All right. So that is going to work best for me. And now we can jump back into our main comp. So here we are. And the main cube. Let's just go and delete this. And drag video cube back inside of here. And here we are. All right. So all I'm going to do with this is I'm going to have it be bigger. I'm going to have it start off small and get larger. So what are we going to do here? Well, I am going to scale it. So we'll go scale right like this. And let's say that I want to scale it down to like 50%. Maybe a little bit better than that. Let's try 75% because I want it to be full screen by the end. So it's going to start off at 75 and then by the end of the video, I want it to be 100%. So let's come in right there. And actually way more than 100%. So I want it to be like this, right like that. All right. So it's going to play in. All right. All right. So good stuff. All right. So if we go back to the beginning, you can see it's coming towards the screen. And then what's going to be happening around it is all the other videos are going to be playing at the same time. All right, so pretty cool stuff. All right, so I just need to go back to the beginning and then grab a whole bunch of picture cubes and drop those inside of there. But they're going to be scaled way down. So I'm going to go Pictures Cube and Scale. And they're going to start off smaller. So let's go like this. And then I'm going to position this so that I can actually see it. So let's move it around. Why can't I see it? Let's see here. Position. There it is. All right, so we have our picture cube. So let's just go and throw one up there. And let's go and what looks like a good size for our picture cubes. Something like 40. All right, so what I wanted it to do is I don't want them to scale. I just want them to be bouncing around on the screen. So I'm going to come in and change its position. Again, I'm at the 0 mark. And I'm going to say position. And I'm going to jump ahead, let's say, to 2 seconds into the video. And I can just go and move it. So I have like this, and I'm going to say that I want it to go down here. And then for 2 seconds after that, I want its position to be wherever it makes sense. So I'm just dragging this around, and maybe it comes over here or something. And 2 seconds after that, and I'll have it bounce. Let's say it's like this, bounce, bounce. And let's have it just go and disappear. And then 8 after that, let's go and grab it and put it over here. All right. And I'm just going to do this over and over again for multiple different picture cubes. Make sure you stop at this part right here. And then for this picture cube, I can go and select it and it's in there. And let's say that it's like right there. Okay, so there we are, and that's going to animate the little cubes bouncing around. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a whole bunch more picture cubes, throw them on a screen, do exactly the same thing that I just showed you. All right, so got everything done. Just drug a whole bunch more picture cubes on there, and you can see here is the final product. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You found it fun. And like always, please leave your questions and comments down below. Otherwise, till next time.